My best bet for week 2 Monday Night Football as the Atlanta Falcons travel to the link to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. If you're stumbling onto this page and this video for the first time, welcome. My name is Peter Appel, and this channel is going to be my home for all NFL picks this season and hopefully for the rest of our lives. So if you're into that sort of thing, hit that big red subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it if you just like the video as well before we get started, and let me know what you think about the pick I'm about to give you in the comment section. I'll be sure to read them all and respond to them all. Just a reminder that this channel is sponsored by BetMGM. Use promo code JustGridiron for a first bet offer up to $1,500. Deposit at least $10, and if you lose your first wager on BetMGM after using code JustGridiron, you'll get it all back up to $1,500 in bonus bets. But remember, gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 years or older, and terms and conditions apply. The look ahead line for this game was Eagles -4. So our job is to determine whether the sports books made the proper adjustments after week 1. Is this an overreaction? Or are the Falcons just much worse than the market initially thought and the books haven't adjusted enough? What forced the move in the first place? Well, the Eagles in week 1 went into Brazil on primetime and beat a playoff caliber Green Bay Packers team 34-29. While the Eagles did score 34 points in that game and the offense looked great, the Packers had 414 yards of offense to the Eagles 410. Josh Jacobs averaged 5.3 yards per carry, and they gave up an explosive 70-yard touchdown pass to Jaden Reed. The offense was great, but the defense was not. So we could talk yards and touchdowns, but let's look a little bit deeper into EPA per play. The Eagles in week 1 ranked 13th on offense and 25th on defense. The Falcons ranked 30th on offense, but ranked 10th on defense. Again, not that big of a gap. Based on the numbers and what I saw, I wouldn't bump the Falcons above the key number of 6 like the odds makers did, but there must be something in the matchup that forced their hand. Let's start with the trenches. The Steelers had the 8th highest pressure rate for week 1 against the Falcons. The Steelers' defensive line is extremely good, highlighted by TJ Watt, and it was an especially good matchup for the Steelers' defensive line against the Falcons' offensive line because the Falcons' O-line is weakest at their tackles. However, PFF didn't just get that totally wrong, ranking them the 6th best offensive line in the NFL. There's a reason. It's because their guards and their center are some of the best in the game. So why does that matter? I talk about the 2 guards and the center for Atlanta because the Eagles' defensive line is kind of the opposite of the Steelers. They're still good, but the best is in the middle, with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter doing much of the damage. And Bryce Huff is a good player, didn't really have a good week 1, and obviously he's no TJ Watt. The Falcons' offensive line should perform better than the 14th ranked Packers, who still held the Eagles to the 12th lowest pressure rate. An important part of this handicap is the Falcons' ability to protect Kirk Cousins, and I think that they have a better chance of doing so against the Eagles than they do against the Steelers. I also don't see the Eagles being able to stop Bijan Robinson. The Eagles rank 31st in rush EPA per play, so if the Eagles can't get to Kirk and they can't stop the run, I have a hard time seeing the Eagles win by 7 or more points. Now, we were just kind of glazing the Falcons. Let's look at the Falcons' deficiencies. Their defensive line, I think, is the weakest part of the defense in general. And in terms of pressuring the quarterback, not good. They were one of the low man in week 1, but they rank in the upper half in rushing EPA per play and dropback EPA per play. So they performed really well against the run and really good against the pass. I think Hurts is going to have some clean pockets. I just don't see him torching this defense worse than what even the Packers allowed. So if we're looking at the matchup, I don't see how the books can bump the Eagles up this much based on the matchup either. The Falcons have the better defense than the Eagles. They have plenty of weapons, just like the Eagles do, and an excellent offensive line that can go toe-to-toe with the Eagles. The steam must be about Kirk Cousins. He's coming off an Achilles injury, and he definitely did not look good in week 1. He ranked 25th in EPA per play among 32 qualified quarterbacks and didn't look healthy. But here's the thing. Jordan Love ranked 23rd. Kirk was 25. And the Packers offense scored 29 points. That's how bad the Eagles defense looks right now. And the Falcons have better weapons than the Packers do. If Kirk can just be okay, the Falcons really shouldn't have issues running the ball. And getting Bijan hot on the ground, I think, is going to help Kirk out a lot. The week 2 zigzag theory also says to back the Falcons. This system isolates teams on the road that lost and didn't cover in week 1, playing a home team that won and covered. Those road teams are 170, 124, and 8, good for a 58% hit rate with a 12.3% ROI. My model on Rithmm also has the Falcons covering +6 at 58% of the time. Now, Rithmm is a new app that uses AI and data modeling to predict props and game outcomes and has the Falcons true line at +3.3. This is just another data point that supports this prop. I highly recommend trying Rithmm. It's a free app that allows you to make your own model based on factors you find most important. The link to download is in the episode description. It's free, and I highly recommend taking advantage of free data whenever you can get it. You can build models that fit exactly what you look for when betting on the NFL. Based on my analysis and the public's love for the Eagles, the Falcons probably should be a 2-unit play at +6 or better. The issue is that Kirk might not be healthy. Footwork was off, and it looked like the Achilles really was bothering him. Knowing that, we're still going with the Falcons because I think that is priced too much into the market, right? I think it's an overreaction. So I'm taking the Falcons +6.5 to win 1 unit. Depending on your book, it's either 6.5 or 6. As long as you're at 6 or better, you're good. Funny enough, I remember Eagles versus Vikings. We bet on it in 2023. We took the Vikings +7 with Kirk Cousins against the Eagles. It was a short week on a Thursday, and the Eagles won by 6. And I think this Falcons team is a little bit better, but obviously things have changed. I just wanted to bring that up, that we actually did win sort of on this exact play over a year ago. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button for NFL picks throughout the season and beyond. Let's go 1-0. Why not us?